Well, firstly, a warm welcome to you, Kevin Roberts, Chief Executive Officer of Saatchi & Saatchi, the global ideas agency. Why is branding, and especially love marks, so important to Cumbria as a place and Cumbrian businesses?
Well, I mean, the worst thing that ever happened here was they called it Cumbria, right? I mean, I used to remember it as Cumberland and Westmoreland, and I still can't get my head around this thing, Cumbria. You know, our future's in the hand of small entrepreneurs. Yes. There's going to be no big conglomerates coming here or built up here, I hope. It's going to be about cottage industries that become city industries and that become regional industries. And I think they need an umbrella, just as, you know, if you sit underneath the Made in Italy umbrella, you stand for sort of groovy design. If you're made in France, then you have a very fashionable sort of perspective. If you sort of come from the Tony Blair sort of swinging London, then you became part of that. So I think Cumbria does need some kind of serious branding.
In your experience, how do you get small businesses and sort of non-marketeers to understand and believe in brands and of course love marks?
Yeah, I think it's on a personal level very easy, because brands are part of everybody's life. So these small businessmen have lives. You know, they support football teams, they believe in great brands themselves, they have a point of view on Nike, Umbro or Adidas, they have a point of view on Pepsi or Coke, they certainly have a point of view on whether to drink a local beer or a global beer. So they understand how important brands are. What they don't know how to do, because they don't have resources, they don't have time, they don't have expertise, they don't understand how to make that work for them. So I think it's got to be a cooperative. You know, I believe we've moved into a very interesting sort of stage in global development. We're going to see the end, really, in my view, of nations, and you're going to see the importance of cities and regions. So regions are going to become, can we bring together the whole of Umbria? Can we bring together the whole of Lancashire? Can we bring together the whole of New York State so that we can come as one? Right? So can we bring together Cumbria? So can we bring together in a cooperative form? Can we have a center of excellence, be that the university, be that, you know, an entrepreneurial setup like your own, where people can come together, learn, network at events like this tonight? I think that's the future. What, should I say, brand resolutions, let's put it that way, would you say are paramount for a business to stick to in the coming year? Paul, I think we live in a VUCA world, a world that is volatile, uncertain, complex and ambiguous. So forget strategic planning, forget putting a lot of time into trying to predict what's going to happen in 12 months' time. I got no idea. People ask me what the future of advertising is, I got no clue. Right? We think in terms of 100-day plans. So in this VUCA world, the challenge really for entrepreneurs in Cumbria is to make it what I call super VUCA. So to make that VUCA world vibrant, unreal, crazy and astounding. So you've got to go into that with the spirit of intuition, emotional involvement. You've got to go into a spirit where execution counts for more than strategy. Yes, put the right kind of thinking into the business plan. Yes, put the right amount of thinking into the brand plan. But more than ever before, put hands-on time into execution. We've got to move from Britain has become a nation of getting things done, or not. It needs to become a nation of making things happen. And up north, we can make things happen because we're on a burning platform. We actually have no choice. So we don't have the luxury of size or scale or geographic, you know, proximity. We have no choice. We've got to transform and make things happen.
Is there any brand left, do you think, that you think, crikey, I'd love to get my teeth into those, I'd love to work on that?
Yeah, I'd like to work on Cumbria.
Really?
Yeah.
I think we can sort that out. I've emailed several businesses that I knew of in the county and tweeted that you were coming here this evening, and if they had a specific question that they would ask. There's one question came from a chap who's actually going to be here this evening anyway, a chap called Leo, who was part of the brand group. He runs a digital agency up here. And he's asked, do you see geography, sector and market maturity making the development of love marks any easier, harder or even impossible?
Most brands have become commodities. Yeah. They haven't really invested in branding, and brands have become blah, 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 and they all look just the same. So love marks, which are built on mystery, sensuality and intimacy, Lovemark's really focused not on the brand, but on the person who uses that brand. They're the heroes, right? So no matter where you are in today's world, whether you're, everybody's digital, right? And everybody's physical all at the same time, and everybody's virtual. The issue is for the great companies, can they understand how their customers feel better than their competitors? Not what their customers do or say, how do they feel? And then can you bring just some kind of happiness into their life, tiny thing, with the brand, the Lovemark that you sell. Remember, the point of a Lovemark really is brands create loyalty for a reason, but Lovemarks create loyalty beyond reason. And if you live up here and you're a small business producing steel or whatever, you've got to create something bigger than that.
Is it possible you could give me a signature on your wonderful book of Lovemarks?
Of course it is, mate. Thank you very much, mate.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Take care.
Well done, Kevin. Thanks very much.
Cheers.
I think businesses in Cumbria, and particularly Carlisle, but certainly in Cumbria, need to invest more in their brands because it creates more of an identity, helps them to understand what their business is all about and what they're trying to achieve for their customer and their consumer. Also, but internally, in terms of the culture, it sort of gives people more focus, more of a sense of belonging because they want to be part of something successful, and it allows them to identify with what their business is trying to achieve. And we found with not only our positioning statement in We're With You, but also our values of trust, passion, honesty and humanity, that they all come through in how we interact with each other and with our clients. And it just gives us more focus about what it is we're trying to do for our customers, and that message comes across with our customers and how we deal with them and how we interact with them by putting that into practice on a day-to-day basis. So I think that's what brand's all about, and if businesses do that, then it just adds value to that relationship they have with their consumer. What we found with our brand is that we are, businesses compete in Cumbria with other businesses on a national level, and that's a marketplace we play in. So if we want to stand out from the crowd, then it's really important to have a brand that the consumer can identify, and that the people within your organisation can identify with, and get that message out into the marketplace. And we found that it allowed us to differentiate ourselves from the marketplace, allowed us to stand out from the crowd and really get across our message about why we're different to our competitors. And I think that has helped us grow and become more successful as a business. And we know from our feedback that we are starting to stand out from the competition. I think that's important. Other businesses need to do that, and clearly we want to work with businesses that have a similar mindset to ourselves. We know that successful businesses want to deal with us because they see us as being successful too.